Hi there, it's Paul Silva from Paul Silva Coaching. I am a life coach who specializes in addiction recovery and life transitions. So, I had a question about how to approach someone who is a high functioning alcoholic, or as I would call them, a currently functioning alcoholic, because eventually the jig is up. And of course, the question is functioning compared to what? I do have a separate video just on high functioning alcoholics and signs that someone you know may be, and all these other things. So just look out for that. But essentially, a high functioning alcoholic is someone who is drinking excessively, who does have issues around alcohol and alcohol control, but on the outside, looking in, seems to have a good life. So, successful career, a house, car, all the physical trappings, and no real repercussions yet from their drinking. So how do you approach someone who's in that? The biggest thing about high functioning alcoholics is denial. Now, most alcoholics would be in denial, but because high functioning alcoholics see themselves as doing well, the denial is even more. They compare themselves to, the person, the bridge troll, underneath, the expressway or freeway, drinking, Lysol out of a can, or shotgunning Lysol, or drinking cooking sherry out of a paper bag. So because of that, and there's a lot of intellectual pride as well. So how do you approach someone? So especially with that level of denial. So the first thing is to approach them like any other alcoholic when they're not drinking. When they're kind of feeling, the next morning they might be a little hungover. That's okay. But when they're in a more receptive state, they will not be receptive when they've been drinking. So that's the first thing, is to pick your time when you can approach them. The second thing is to approach them with a lot of I statements. And so it's not about you this and you that. It's like, I feel this. This is how it affects me. And so in that way, they can't really argue how you're feeling, because that's your feelings. And so you can really talk about how that impacts you, their drinking. So really approach with the I statements. Um, you know, Another thing is to, in that same vein, is come at them with compassion and not judgment. Um, Again, with the you this, you that, come at it from a place of service, of from your own heart. Because what you're trying to do is really overall, is you're trying to chip away at this denial. And you're not going to get it right away. We're planting seeds. Anytime we're having a conversation with someone who's active in alcohol or drugs, we're planting seeds. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, you're right, I should really stop right now. When you're caught up in the whole thing, the lifestyle, the mindset, the emotional landscape, it doesn't turn on a dime. So come at it from that point of view, understanding that it's going to be challenging for them. So come at it from a compassionate point of view rather than a judgmental. Judgmental is actually just going to have them withdraw even more and plant their feet more into their lifestyle. Um, you know, Also create boundaries for yourself. When you have that conversation, you can also let them know that there's certain things you will not tolerate. And so it could be that when they're drinking, you're not around them, or you may have to take a break from them, depending on what kind of relationship you have. So create boundaries for yourself to let them know that there's consequences to how their lifestyle is. And so that's another way, and that's also helpful for you to create that. That may give them a bit of a wake up call to see that there's consequences. And really, because high functioning alcoholics are usually very intelligent and witty and all that, they're going to come at it from an intellectual point of view. They're going to say, "Oh, I'm not like all the others." But again, coming at it from an impact point of view, that's going to be really helpful for them and for you. So these are some small tips on how to approach them, and also let them know that no matter what, you're there for them, and to demonstrate that, if and when they want to change, that you're there, and that you'll be there, you'll be present to them. And it's having that reassurance. And a lot of times, alcoholics, high functioning, they just want to be seen, and they want to know that they're seen, and because there's a lot of fear there. And so again, coming from the place of compassion, coming from a place of non-judgment is really important. And so think of this as you approach someone in that situation. It's not easy. It's not easy living with someone like that, but you can start to have the conversation, and they may start to turn it around very slowly in their mind. So hopefully that helps. If there's any other questions you have regarding approaching someone with a drinking problem, especially someone with a high functioning as a high functioning alcoholic, please drop me a line. You can email me at paul@paulsilvacoaching.com, and I look forward to talking to you later. Take care.